Paranormal encounters can take unexpected and chilling turns, but these are truly terrifying. Cameras have captured ghostly apparitions, demonic manifestations, and moments so frightening that even the most skeptical witnesses were left trembling in fear. A Chinese TikTok user, for a post on his profile, decided to explore a haunted hospital on the outskirts of Beijing, hoping for some content. The clip dates to the 24th of September 2023, where from the moment he entered the premises made an encounter. With the hospital being quite spacious and dark, it wasn't long until he was lost and terrified at the same time, expecting a paranormal encounter that could come out any second. Appearing child spirit. After hearing the sounds of disturbance in a bungalow under construction in the village of Villa de Leyva, Colombia, 2 armed guards rushed to investigate, only to discover what looked like a child dressed in shorts and half sleeves, having eerie vibes surrounding it. Despite being armed, they weren't sure if they could confront or not. Before they could react, the child spirit abruptly slammed the door, sending both of them fleeing in fear. Lethal encounter. A police officer who was responding to a report of breaking and entering in. Just as it was the caller mentioned, the walls of the place were torn apart, so the officer had to draw out his sidearm. In a matter of a few seconds, he spotted this troubled-looking woman, and then this happened.
On the ground. Get on the ground! Right now!
Trinidad King 1, did you copy that?
It wasn't until backup arrived later to discover the responding officer had passed away, where soon after the footage was reviewed. But the police never found the perpetrator. Haunted discovery. While exploring the long-abandoned Masonic temple in Cleveland, Ohio, Chris from Urbix Hill. The massive structure was abandoned for 50 years and was filled with dust and echoes of the past. On the second floor, Chris discovered what appeared to be an old ammunition casing, and when he leaned down to take a better look, this happened.
Someone touched me, I swear to God.
A faint cough could be heard, and he later mentioned feeling a light touch on his back. Things took a stranger turn when he moved downstairs and an old door closed on its own. Though he didn't notice it then. Only after reviewing the footage later, he saw a pale face partly hidden in the shadows as he descended the stairs and was watching him the entire time. Invisible intruder. A newly moved-in tenant in a residence in Detroit, Michigan, called 911 after hearing someone break in after she managed to get out of the window. By the time a police unit arrived to investigate, the power had mysteriously been cut off. As one of the officers made his way back down, he suddenly heard heavy footsteps rushing toward him, as if someone was about to jump him. He spun around instantly, only to find no one there. Soon after reaching downstairs, both officers came to the conclusion that the residence was haunted. Possessed woman arrested. Residents from a neighborhood in Querétaro, Mexico, were forced to call in authorities after a local woman started to behave unlike any human. A clip dating to 13th February 2025 was taken by one of the witnesses, who reported that the woman randomly entered her home, started to break down her belongings, and even attempted to set the place ablaze. She was then apprehended by the police, where even so fire crew had to be called in. Phantom passengers. On August 6th, 2017, a Bangkok Airways pilot witnessed something truly mysterious at Phuket International Airport late at night. From his position near the terminal, he saw several people walking down a jet bridge as if they had just arrived on a flight. At first, nothing seemed unusual until he noticed that the jet bridge wasn't connected to any plane or terminal at all. There was no aircraft in sight, yet the figures moved quickly, as though trying to catch another flight. The sight left him stunned and searching for answers. Were these travelers the spirits of passengers from long-lost flights, or visitors from another realm? To this day, no explanation has ever been found. Berserk Paranormal Activity. TikTok user at Video shared a video of film students from the University of Southern California in Los Angeles on September 10th, 2023. The group had set out to explore and document paranormal activity in an abandoned hospital as a project idea. Standing in the psych ward, they noticed a carved Ouija board on one of the tables, and they decided to start from there. While filming, just as they gripped the pointer, it started to move, with both unable to remove their hands.
What do you want us to do?
With the students startled by their encounter, and we just about to leave, when things started to get even crazier. Luckily, all of them made it out, taking only minor cuts and bruises. Zombie woman. Pedestrians and bystanders in Seattle were left terrified when a trouble-looking woman with a zombie-like look and behavior was spotted on the road. The incident, dated to May 10th, 2021, was filmed by a TikToker showing her walking down the street, where it didn't take long before the police showed up. Officers, despite outnumbering her 4-1 at first, hesitated out of concern to subdue the woman. Until more backup. Along with the EMTs arriving on the scene, they were finally able to take her into custody while being very cautious. Urban Witch.
Allahu Akbar, astagfirullahaladzim.
A TikToker by the username of @tus.meA2 shared this video on 3rd August 2024, calling it the most terrifying paranormal experience, while making his way up a building that was set to be demolished the next day, where he found what can only be described as a witch, if not a spirit, making its presence known. It had an appearance so terrifying that he could not point or even look at it. Fearing an escalation, after spending several seconds staring down on him, it disappeared only to reappear next to him at a distance, but much closer than before, where the clip abruptly ends. Jinn figure. While exploring an abandoned building in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, an urban explorer named Omar captured a terrifying moment on camera. Known for his daring explorations, Omar found himself deep inside a dark, empty hallway when he suddenly sensed something behind him. As he turned around, his light revealed the eerie figure of a woman standing silently in the shadows, watching him. Shocked and frightened, Omar began to pray aloud, and within moments, the figure vanished without a trace. When he searched the hallway again, no one was there. The encounter left viewers wondering, did his prayers drive away what could have been a jinn, or was it something beyond explanation? Terrifying invader. A concerned neighbor from the residential area of Calgary, Alberta in Canada noticed something very alarming. The reel that was uploaded by him on Instagram showed a tall, mysterious being of a terrifying nature who was terrorizing the homeowner. Since the clip was taken in mid-January 2025 after an intense blizzard, emergency services couldn't be called in. From this possibly being a grim reaper to the physically appearing devil himself, many possibilities were speculated. With the source being anonymous, nothing is known about the fate that befell here. Roaming spirit. Security camera footage that was taken from a hostel in Santiago, Chile, where a spirit was found roaming around the staircase in the hours after midnight. It was spotted by the security guard, who mentioned having seen it appearing several times, going back and forth. It was then again seen moving around in the hallway, moving the furniture that came into its way. Even though the hostel didn't have any reported or detected paranormal presence, the sharing of this clip sparked a concern among the hostel management. Haunted wreckage. In the outskirts of Acapulco, Mexico, an eerie scene unfolded at the site of a recent car crash. Emergency crews and police were already on the scene when a local news team arrived to cover the story. As the reporter described the wreckage for viewers, the camera briefly captured something strange in the shattered vehicle's window, a dark, distorted face that seemed to be watching from inside. Those who later viewed the footage were unsettled, unsure whether it was a trick of light or something far less explainable. Some believed it to be the spirit of someone lost in the crash, while others wondered if it was a darker presence tied to the accident itself. Terrifying apartment ghost. One quiet evening, a man living alone was about to watch television when he heard strange noises coming from his kitchen. At first, it sounded like faint clattering, but soon spoons and forks began falling onto the floor on their own. Startled yet curious, he cautiously gathered them, thinking it was over. As he turned back toward the living room, something in the reflection of the TV caught his eye. A faint, human-like figure standing behind him. Shocked, he spun around. But the room was empty. The unsettling moment convinced him to leave the apartment for the night. Later, when reviewing his footage, he realized he had captured the entire unexplained event on camera. Ghost Girl. CCTV footage from the food court of Metropoli Patriotismo, a shopping mall in Mexico, captured a security guard during his routine patrol. In the footage, he appeared to be speaking to someone seated nearby, though no one else was visible on camera. Over the radio, a senior officer monitoring the security feed asked whom the guard was talking to. The guard replied that it was a young girl waiting for her mother, who had gone to the restroom, and that the child seemed frightened. The officer, puzzled, informed him that the chair was empty on all monitors. Upon hearing this, the guard became visibly shaken and quickly fled the area. Later, a test ruled out the influence of any hallucinogens, raising the unsettling possibility that he had encountered something supernatural. Spooky crawler. Despite the unsettling noises echoing from upstairs, two young men, driven by an insatiable curiosity, ventured into a long-abandoned building rumored to harbor a paranormal presence. They made their way up the floor towards the source of the sound, not expecting to come across something dramatic in broad daylight until... At this point, everything that was unexpected was finally revealed. Terrifying awakening. A woman who had installed a security camera in her bedroom for safety ended up capturing something far more disturbing than she expected. Late one night, while she was asleep, the footage showed a faint figure entering the room through the door. Moments later, the blanket was pulled sharply from the bed before the woman herself was dragged off and toward the closet as she struggled in fear. The encounter lasted only a few seconds, but it was enough to leave her terrified. Though she managed to escape without injury, the incident deeply shook her, an unsettling reminder that her own home might not be as empty as it seemed. Bathroom Spirit. On December 9th, 2024, a group of Japanese schoolgirls recorded eerie footage inside their school bathroom after hearing strange noises from one of the stalls. Nervously investigating, one of them climbed onto a toilet in the next stall to look over, and moments later, the group screamed as the camera continued rolling. When they cautiously opened the stall door, it appeared empty at first, but then a pale-faced girl suddenly appeared in the corner, sending them running in fear. The video quickly spread online, with many comparing the mysterious figure to Hanako-san, the ghostly spirit said to haunt Japanese school bathrooms, leaving viewers wondering if this was a prank or something truly supernatural. Meditating shadow figure. On June 29th, 2023, a girl who was home alone while her parents were away experienced something deeply unsettling. After hearing strange noises coming from downstairs, she decided to check, thinking it might be an intruder. However, when she reached the area, she noticed a large, shadowy figure that appeared to be sitting still in the dim light. The shape and posture of the silhouette resembled that of a monk deep in meditation, calm yet unnervingly motionless. The eerie sight left her frozen in place, realizing that locked doors offered little protection against whatever presence had appeared inside her home that night. Sudden intrusion.
Okay guys, it's just me and Lucy up here. I was just listening to music. I was on the laptop. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
A home security camera in Phoenix, Arizona recorded an unsettling scene involving a woman who was alone with her dog early in the morning on June 13, 2023. The footage showed the incident beginning in the kitchen, where the doors of the wall cabinets suddenly started slamming on their own. The noise quickly drew the woman's attention, startling both her and her pet. The disturbance appeared to focus solely on the kitchen area, particularly the shelves where food was stored. Based on the activity, it seemed as though whatever presence was responsible had its attention fixed on one thing: something to eat.
Hello? Hello?
Terrifying possession. In a small Polish village, police responded to what they thought was a routine case involving a disturbed woman, but found something far stranger. A woman named Kamilka had locked herself in her attic, screaming and growling in a way that witnesses described as inhuman.
Chodź tu, Kamilka. Kamilka, to coś cię widzę. No nie ciągaj się. Kamilka.
Villagers said her behavior had changed after she returned from a remote forest shrine, and when she lost control that night, many believed she was possessed. Even paramedics appeared frightened by what they saw.
Kamila!
The video of the incident ended abruptly, but reports later stated that she was restrained and taken to a hospital for sedation. Whether an exorcism was ever performed remains unknown. Haunted encounter. A paranormal investigating couple was exploring an abandoned building late in the evening in Denver, Colorado, when they unknowingly crossed paths with an unknown entity lurking in the dark. They had come to investigate the old Seton house, a site long rumored to be haunted, when something terrifying happened. In a dim corner, a pale gray woman appeared, motionless, expressionless, and eerily lacking a shadow. Within seconds, the figure vanished completely, leaving the couple stunned and terrified by what they had just witnessed. Howling disturbance. In a small Indian city of Kuldara, a local spotted a series of spooky figures on October 20th, 2025, that were roaming just outside his residence. This was after hearing a howling disturbance for several days. The source of the video decided to stay up late at night to investigate. At first, he noticed something walking across on a top-floor balcony, and then a silhouette of a woman-like haunted figure that was peeking at him while hiding behind a wall. selective encounter. One night in Dallas, Texas, a building security guard experienced something strange that was captured on surveillance cameras. During his routine rounds, he was seen talking and gesturing as if speaking to someone right in front of him, but no one else was there. From the control room, another guard noticed the odd behavior and radioed to check on him. When asked who he was speaking to, the guard calmly replied that it was a woman who used to work in the building.
Yes, sir. Who are you talking to?
His response left everyone speechless, as the woman he described had tragically passed away in that same building years earlier, making it one of the most unsettling moments ever witnessed on the night shift.
Miss Abigail she died 2 years ago. No, there's nobody in front of you at all.
Demon influence.
Get the away from my door, you mother.
Put the bat down. The bat down. Put it down.
On December 23rd in Vernon County, Wisconsin, police responded to a distress call involving a woman named Stacy, who had made alarming satanic remarks over the phone and threatened a friend, prompting immediate concern. When the officer arrived, he found the house in chaos and Stacy acting with extreme aggression. It seemed as though she had lost all control, behaving as if influenced by an unseen force. As tensions rose, the officer quickly intervened to contain the situation safely.
Put down! Get down! Get down! Down now! Down! I said down now!
Oh my God.
Stacy was taken into custody, and though claims of possession remained uncertain, her behavior was considered dangerously unstable. She was later charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and reckless endangerment.
I ain't scared.
Hang on.
Off me. Look at him. Now! You're trying to use me as a shield. Alright?
Weird entity. A paranormal investigator who decided to explore a long-abandoned mall in Centro Naucalpan de Juarez, state of Mexico, where he encountered a staring entity.
Lapit ka akong oo. Dali lang ha.
The clip dated 28th November 2022 showed the entity that was in a humanoid form appeared in the middle of the hallway, staring at the source without making any noticeable sound or movement. It then suddenly disappears out of the blue, terrifying the paranormal investigator, who was at this point concerned for his safety and decided to leave the area.
Sa akin, mga idol, ang lamig ng likod ko.
Pulled by ghost. On August 28, 2022, a home security camera in Pensacola, Florida, captured a strange and unsettling moment. A young woman was sitting in her living room watching television with her dogs when she suddenly reached up and began tugging at her hair, as if something had pulled it. None of the dogs barked or showed any sign of alarm, leading her to assume that the one beside her had brushed against her accidentally. It was only after she reviewed the footage, saw her hair being gently pulled by no visible source. Police station ghost. At a police station in Trstenik, Serbia, CCTV footage captured something that left officers completely baffled. While monitoring the cameras, one officer noticed a strange, white, smoky figure appear in a restricted hallway where no one else was allowed. The mist-like shape drifted smoothly across the corridor before disappearing from view. At first, the officers thought it might be a camera glitch, but their skepticism faded when the figure appeared again. Though it had no distinct form, its movements seemed too controlled to be random. The footage was replayed several times, yet no one could find a logical explanation for what they had seen, leaving many to wonder if it might truly have been a ghost. Demonic intruder. In 2019, an eerie incident took place in Managua, Nicaragua. A homeowner, whose property was still under construction, suspected that someone had broken in and contacted the police. When an officer arrived, however, it quickly became clear that this was no ordinary trespasser. Standing inside was a shadowy figure draped in dark clothing, its face unnervingly distorted and its eyes appearing to glow in the dim light. Uncertain of what he was confronting, the officer chose not to enter immediately. Instead, he recorded the strange sight and radioed for backup. Yet before additional units could reach the scene, the mysterious figure vanished without a trace. Triggered ghost. A woman living alone in a house rumored to experience occasional paranormal disturbances decided to perform a simple cleansing ritual by lighting a sage stick, hoping the scent would drive away any lingering presence. However, as soon as she began, the atmosphere in the house changed. Objects started falling over on their own, and strange movements could be seen around her. Fortunately, a camera she had set up in the bedroom captured the unnerving activity as it unfolded. The unseen force seemed to follow her from room to room, knocking items aside until she fled the house in fear. To stay safe, she waited outside for her son to return before re-entering.
Oh, that's it.
Forest ritual. A native who was passing through the forested areas in Banyuwangi, East Java of Indonesia, where he came across a spooky entity within the thick of the woods, surrounded by several candles, just by a cave entrance.
Siapa itu?
It is unclear if this was a person doing the ritual or the summoned devil himself. The source, not knowing what he had walked into, decided to maintain distance. Upon being discovered, it made a sudden movement to disappear, leaving the native turning back running.
Itu yang bertandu ya? Canggih. Wes tak ketuan.
Boys' interaction. A young mother began noticing her toddler often standing alone and talking toward an empty corner of the room, something she initially brushed off as simple play. One day, she recorded a clip for TikTok showing her son staring intently at a bathroom vent while quietly speaking to it.
Who are you saying goodnight to? Who?
As though responding to someone unseen. When she gently asked who he was talking to, the boy repeatedly insisted that a ghost was there with him. The strange behavior continued over the following days.
He's been talking to that vent, and then he was blowing it kisses. And I'm creeped out now.
Leaving the mother uneasy and unsure what to believe. Though she hoped it was just a phase of imagination, the repeated encounters left her increasingly concerned for her child's safety and peace of mind. Haunted house family. A paranormal enthusiast captured a video that quickly gained attention on TikTok, claiming it showed unusual movement inside an empty house. In the footage, faint shapes could be seen shifting back and forth near the windows, almost as if several figures were moving within. The person filming suggested it might have been the presence of a family of spirits, given how the activity seemed brief, yet coordinated. Interestingly, the homeowner had locked the property and left the country weeks earlier, ruling out any human presence inside. The coincidence left viewers debating whether the movements were tricks of light or something far less ordinary lingering within the abandoned home. Hospital paranormal activity. Around 3 in the morning in Manila, Philippines, 2 security guards were completing their routine patrol when a sudden, loud banging echoed through the empty hallway of an old building. Following the noise, they traced it to the emergency exit area, where the corridor lights flickered erratically. The sound was coming from the emergency cabinet door, which was swinging open and shut by itself. The guards stood puzzled. It wasn't a mechanical door and could only be moved manually. After several minutes, the slamming stopped as abruptly as it began, leaving the corridor silent once more. The incident unsettled both men enough that, from then on, they chose to avoid that section of the building during their nightly rounds. Crematorium movement. A crematorium worker in Austin, Texas, reported to have been witnessing paranormal activity at the end of the shift. After taking notice of the activity playing out again, he decided to record it on his camera as proof. It showed that one among many of the occupied urns on a shelf had its lid moving and was almost taken off. Now this wasn't it. After the moving of the lid, there was even movement that was captured on camera of something going in and out of the room. While most would describe this to be a typical ghost, there were other theories of this being the soul of the deceased that first came out of the urn and started wandering around. Sewer being. Late one night, two friends, Brian and Connor, decided to investigate a local rumor about something strange lurking near an old sewer, something unsettling enough that some residents had considered calling the police. As the pair approached the area, their curiosity quickly turned to fear. From the darkness of the sewer grate, a pale, distorted figure began to crawl out. Its movements were slow and unnatural, and it looked far more human than animal. Shocked by what they had seen, the two didn't linger. Realizing the situation might be far more serious than they imagined, they immediately left the area and reported the encounter to the police. Ghost calls 911. On August 11, 2018, police in Pueblo, Colorado, received a disturbing 911 call early in the morning. The call originated from Imperial Memorial Gardens, a combined funeral home and cemetery. When dispatchers answered, the line was silent before abruptly disconnecting. Attempts to call back were met only with bursts of static. Though faintly beneath the noise, it sounded as if someone was whispering, "Help me." An officer was sent to investigate, but found the entire property locked and completely deserted. No staff, no visitors, no sign of anyone at all. The mysterious call from within the cemetery left authorities unsettled, unsure who or what had reached out for help that morning. The video has definitely reached its end. I will see you again with another wow video. Until then, you can check out these other videos for a wow dose of entertainment and knowledge.